just gotta get the jitters out. You know what I'm saying? What up? It's your girl Kivonshe, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hello. We do goofy things over here. Nice to meet you. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. But if you are not new here, and to my biggest fan for all the harassment, welcome back. Second video back, and we're gonna get a little heartsy feelsy up in here while I tell y'all why I've been gone, what I've been doing since I've been gone, and what I'm about to do now that I'm back. If you hear any noise in the background, I got all the dogs out. They're playing, and some of them are at the door right now, whining and trying to get in. But I hope y'all really like this video, and I really hope y'all comment below, especially, you know, if you went through similar things that I'm going to tell y'all about over the course of the last year. Or if you're not, you know, drop some encouraging words for somebody else. But I don't want to talk too much because I think the video is pretty long, so we're just going to get right into it. So where have I been? It's been crazy, and I'm pretty sure I've been gone for like a year. But it was much needed. So many different things happened. Let's see. First of all, work was just super stressful and super in the way. I'm not gonna go too much in depth with it, but things were just really getting out of hand, and I really needed to get a hold of my mental health and my mental stability before it just drove me completely nuts. And in that, I had decided on a launch time for my podcast. I wasn't completely ready, but something specifically happened at work that made me just be like, you know what? Bump this. I need to just speak and just have an outlet to really just say how I feel without necessarily naming names or naming organizations. And while premature, it really did turn into a really good outlet for me. So there's that. Podcast was born. If you've seen any of my videos, I'm literally always saying, so there's that. And it just kind of became a thing for me and a way for me to just jump into that. What I found during that was I was able to slowly but surely kind of deal with some of the things that that time in work didn't really allow me to deal with, like just everything from my divorce and that whole tumultuous relationship in and of itself. What life would look like for me afterwards, and like work stuff, really trying to get out of a toxic organization. And then honestly, it just really helped me instill some boundaries in a lot of areas, especially at work. And I learned that I was not giving myself the grace that I deserved. And I knew I wasn't going to get it from society. I wasn't going to get it from my coworkers. So I really just put my foot down on the shit that I deserve and the standards that I'm going to set and what I'm going to allow in my life. Like literally, I was just like, I'm done. I'm putting my fucking foot down. Wasn't trying to curse on this page. I'm trying to do better with my life. But so born from there, I did a lot of introspective work, really just trying to figure out what do I want to do, because at that time, and this was around like October through December timeframe of 2021, it was just really trying to figure out what I was going to do and how I was going to continue to seek peace. Because boundaries weren't enough, especially because people at work every day was testing me and testing my boundaries. And I needed more than one avenue to really like center me and get me back to me. So from there, I had finally decided to get into plants. I've been thinking about it for a while, and my partner was always talking about plants anyway. And 2022, January, I came back home from visiting family and stuff, and I bought 3 plants. Who knew that I would turn into dang near a crazy plant lady? Like 3 plants went to like 10 in a few days, and now I'm sitting in here with at least 16. I have like 50 to 60 plants, and it has just been a joy to really help me practice patience, to really calm my mind down, and to really sit in my pain. Because whenever one of my plants, like the first time one of my plants died and I could not save it, I was distraught. And it may seem a little dramatic, but I don't know. Like at that time, I just felt like caring for these plants, I was caring for myself. And to see something die, it was literally mirroring what I had felt inside as far as like my passion and stuff. I remember going to my supervisor, once I had got out of my old workplace, and just was like, I'm dead inside. I have no passion no more for this work. And people took everything from me. Like I literally don't want to be here. I would wake up every day not wanting to go to work. I would stay up all night so that I didn't have to go to sleep and wake up to the reality of going to work. So she would just let me go in her office and cry before my shift. She wouldn't say nothing to me or anything else. And I would cry and I would leave and I would go to work. And I just did my job and went home. It was very robotic, but when I got home, I always had a smile on my face because I was coming to see all my plants and check on them and do all these other things. And in that, I was able to nurture like so many parts of me, like parts where I was still holding on to like, you know, a huge struggle that I had went through with one of my sisters back in 2014 through 2015. I was still kind of holding on, coming out of that, and I was still treating myself as if I was still in that place. Still holding on to some of like who I was or who I thought I would be in my marriage, and then having to like completely absolve myself from that, forgive myself for a bunch of things, and just kind of wash my hands of a particular situation, which I'm not going to talk about today, but wash my hands of something that I did not want to let go, but I was left with no choice, and it hurt a lot. But I was literally in desperate need over the last year to just find me, heal me, and take care of me. With that, it turned into setting boundaries with my mom. You know, I have not talked to my mom since March of this year. It's going to be October soon. Today is the 29th of September. It's about to be October. Because she sent me something and I just was like, you know what? No, I'm not responding to this, and I'm no longer accepting this type of behavior in my life. Like when I tell you everybody was getting the chop, everybody's getting the chop. Cause I was done, super done. And I still am, but I had to break myself away from a lot of things and just focus on doing nothing. Have my mind doing nothing. At work, I was basically robotic in doing nothing, so that when I came home, I literally, in my nothingness, could just listen to myself. Who am I? What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? Grow these plants and think about what I want to do with the rest of my career outside of the military. in that, I kind of went through like a crisis. Because again, I already said that I prematurely started my podcast. And so I felt like I was having an identity crisis. Like my podcast first was just very like all over the place with my emotions. But I was like, okay, I really need to take a fun but professional approach. So I kind of narrowed all that down. And this is not about my podcast, but I will leave that information in my description box below. So as I was building myself, things started to take shape as far as my content goes and the type of content that I want to create in the world. So I ironed all of that out. And then with my plants, I ended up I named all my plants. All my plants have like grown ass people names or like pop star names or like somebody hip hop, R&B or whatever. And I started a plant series on my plant page, Black Planted. And again, I'm going to put all of this in my description box, but this was just the way for me to just really get out that goofy side that nobody really sees when I come home and I be talking to my plants and just being a straight up weirdo in the comforts of my own home. So my plant page was kind of literally started from nothing, right? Nothing. And in 2 months, I had over 150 followers. And in this day and age, to go from nothing to something and you not already be a celebrity or an established influencer of some type, it was really hard. But that wasn't my focus. I deleted so many followers off of my Kivonshe Instagram page. And I mean, deleted people that I followed and deleted followers all the way back down to like 300 and something. And again, in 3 months, I'm at almost 800 followers on there. So I feel like my content and who I am and what I'm representing is bringing more authenticity and more genuity from the people who I follow and the people who follow me. And in this, basically, I started to change my conversations. I started to change how I move. I started to change the content that I sought out. And I started to change the content that I produce while still maintaining me, being goofy, being an introvert, being a strong Black woman, being vocal. All these things that I am started to transform. So I'm doing me. I'm having a good time. Things are going great. Things are getting a little bit better at work. So I made a conscious decision to start to bring a little bit more of that passion that I stowed away back in my workplace so that I could just help the people around me who are possibly going through what I went through 9 months ago, get out of that situation now. So I literally at work went from like to myself in a recluse to kind of being more involved with people and just trying to get them to just focus back on their passions, their hobbies, and stuff that they did before they joined the Air Force, stuff that they did before they came to this job. And I've met some pretty unique and cool individuals that way. So definitely everything that I'm doing in my personal life is starting to affect and transform my professional life. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still focused on retirement. Super not invested the way that I was at work, but I'm just so aligned at home that nothing can faze me. So where did I leave off with a specific date? So March, just last time I actually had like full communication with my mom, because I was just like, And sometimes you gotta cut your own family off, right? Still doing good, still like getting everything with me. And then in June, a coworker of mine, whom I love dearly, sent me a link. It had like Will Smith on it, and it was talking about how Will Smith was partnering with Google and Uncommon, and Westbrook, the company that he and Jada have, to fund Black creators. And she sent that to me, and I was tipsy when she sent it to me. And I was like, well, she was like, I instantly thought of you when I saw this. I think that you're just such a light, and the content that you bring is just so beautiful. And I really think you should apply for this. In my tipsiness, I applied and just never said anything. I think I sent her a message and said, done. And then I let my girlfriend know, like, done. That was it. Out of sight, out of mind, completely forgot. That was June 27th or the 26th. Fast forward to September, I get an email and it's like asking me for my headshot, my information, all this other stuff with like Snapchat. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And I thought it was a scam because literally the day before I got that email, I got a text about some lady who won like $1 billion lottery in California, was trying to give it away to random people. And I just was like, okay, how is my information getting out here? So I didn't respond. And then I think 3 days later, it was like, hey, requesting a follow-up. Really need you to respond to this email if you're interested. So I'm doing my Googles and I'm like, okay, this person seems real. This person seems legit. What she's emailing me is also on her Instagram page. And I don't think she would be tagging these major companies if this isn't real. So I sent the information. Still didn't say anything to anybody, right? Just sent up this information being super cautious. Y'all, why was it that I was selected? Sorry if I'm moving too much. But why was it that I was selected as one for the inaugural class for the 25 Black content creators for the Black Accelerator program? I was like, what in the hell? Super stunned. We weren't allowed to say anything until September 20th. So I already knew that I was selected like on the 12th of September. But again, it still wasn't real, right? So then the article came out. We got an email on the 20th. The articles came out. And I'm like, holy shit. This is real. Like, I literally couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. We're the first. So Snap teaming up with 523, and we're the first, so inaugural class. And it truly just became the culmination of all the work that I've been doing since like October of last year. Again, almost a year of just changing, removing myself from toxic situations, regardless of where I was. Whether I had to go to work in a toxic situation, I knew that I focused so much on myself that I was able to exist with minimal interaction, still function very highly in the product that I produce at work while healing me from the inside out. Changing my conversation about myself, about luxury, about success, about everything, right? Changing how I moved, how I thought. And I think one of the biggest things that people struggle with is how do you get out of one situation and into the next? And it really does start with changing your conversation. And what do I mean by that? So think about, you know, when you were younger, and let's say, since I'm a woman, this is one of the major ones that I can connect with, is getting your hair done, right? There is a difference in women who grow up hating their hair and loving their hair when the conversations surrounding your hair when you were younger were, oh my God, look at this beautiful head of hair. Your hair is so beautiful. To, oh my God, sit your nappy head ass down. Damn, I don't want to do your hair. I'm tired of always doing your hair. I'm tired of this. I can't tame this. I need to slap a relaxer on it. Like, it really does change how you view yourself. So when I say change conversations, it wasn't my first conversations to change, had nothing to do with conversations with anybody else but myself. I had to change what I was going to tolerate, telling myself, you will not tolerate this. You will not tolerate that. You will accept this. You will claim this. You will be this. You will do this, no matter how long it takes. So all of that, I'm like pouring into myself mentally. And one of the biggest things I had to tell myself was about like just being broke, right? So I mentioned earlier, you know, I went through, what do I want to do? Do my blush. So I mentioned earlier, you know, I was still holding on to like this broke mindset from 2014, 2015. I had taken in my little sister and my godson when he was only 4 months old. And I lost everything because I could not afford all of us. It was super unexpected. Just, I couldn't afford it. I had one person help me out at the time, my friend. But I had got evicted and, I had to tell my leadership everything about it. Like, so people were in my business that I did not want. But that was the first time in my life where I was like, you know what? Not asking for help on time is not the thing, right? That was the first parts of me shedding, what I grew up with. What happens at home stays at home. Strong black woman, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. That seed was planted a long time ago. Then some things was going on within my marriage that was just, I was constantly made to feel like I didn't have my shit together. Or that I didn't have enough money or anything like that. Like I was really made to feel ridiculously financially insecure. Not the downfall of the marriage, but one of. And when I left, I was like, okay, I'm never going to be in that situation again. But I didn't realize that while I was getting out of that, while I was saving and paying off all my debts and all those other things, I was still treating myself as if I was broke, as if I, was a paycheck away from eviction, as if I was financially unstable. And I didn't even realize it until this year when I started changing my conversation, changing how I view myself, changing the narrative of what I wanted to do and be and present to myself and the world. So in March, going back to March, I went to Vegas for my baby brother's 21st birthday. I was never not going to miss his 21st birthday. And I was talking to my stepmom about it. And I was like, on this trip, I want to blow a bag. I don't know what I'm going to buy, but I deserve it. I have put in the work for 8 years. And it is time that I act like I put in the work. It is time that I allow myself to be free of whatever mental burden in this old relationship that I have with finances. So I blew a bag on a bag and I felt great. My sister and my cousin were like, wow, insane. But it wasn't really about the object. It was about what it represented to me. And in that moment, I knew I was never going back. In that moment, I knew that I'm never going to be broke again. So hashtag NBA Kivonshe. Never going to be broke again. And this is just going to propel me into doing whatever it takes to have the option to afford luxury and what I consider luxury. So I spent money. I felt great. I had no regrets. I could afford it. I worked my ass off for it. And it literally just got me here. And I have no idea what would come of it or how success would start to look for me. But I knew that it started with consistency. And that was consistency on my plant page first because it was the easiest. And it was the most therapeutic. And then it launched me into just making my podcast more professionally formatted in how I presented the work. Start getting guest features through voice memos or physically coming over to my home to talk about whatever topic that we wanted to talk about, and just taking myself more seriously and really just buying into what, I don't know, I feel like everybody was buying into me and I wasn't buying into myself. Like I was selling something, but everybody saw the value in what I have at its lowest and they see where it can be. And I'm finally seeing what they're seeing. And there is no better feeling than that. There's just no better feeling than you believing wholeheartedly in yourself and believing in yourself when you still like kind of have nothing. You're still like kind of at the bottom or at the inception and conception of your success. Like, it's beautiful, and I hope that I can hold on to this forever. That's what's been going on with me. I'm back on Snapchat now. We're working on some things. I was like super heavy into Snapchat in 2020, and then I think I just got busy with work because I really was not on Snapchat like that. But I'm about to be now. And I'm super excited to share like the different things. I'm gonna post my unboxing. I did do one on Instagram and I did one on Snapchat. I won't necessarily unbox on YouTube, but I'll do more in depth of what's going on because I literally only had 90 seconds or less in order for you to put it on Snapchat Spotlight page, which who knew? I'm definitely behind the times. But I will post a video on here that's more in depth about the program. The other 24 creators, there's 25 of us. Super dope. There's like 3 of them who I vibe with already, and I cannot wait to meet them in person. After all this time of being away from YouTube, I still cannot film and do my brows at the same time. This is hard. Still gonna be doing makeup content. I don't know how much of it will be like, oh, watch me do this look, or let me show you how to do this look, because the pandemic really showed up and told us to take care of our own skin. So this has been my go-to makeup look since earlier this year, because while we're not necessarily mandated to wear masks anymore, it was just easy and less things to focus on. So I'm not gonna abandon makeup because makeup got me through some of the roughest points in my life. It's just not gonna be the sole focus of my channel anymore. My channel is definitely evolving with who I am as a person, and what I care about these days is my mental health, your mental health, wellness, good vibes. Let me see. I don't know how Jackiana be doing this. I'm gonna have to do this off camera, y'all. I'm embarrassed. I was gonna put on false lashes, but the lashes are lashing today. So we're gonna keep this whole thing just very simple, very 90s with this overall look, and peep the hair. Last minute decision. But anyways, what I was talking about earlier, so I'm excited to be back. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I know that I am definitely going to be back consistently. It seems like everybody who's been gone for 9 months or more is uploading videos right now. So this must be the time where we all just needed that year to just refresh, rejuvenate, recenter ourselves around us versus centering our lives around content. And it seems like everybody's just getting back to who they were when they first started uploading videos when nobody's watching YouTube. And it's a good thing. I like what the universe is doing. I especially like what the universe is doing with me. So with that, this is gonna wrap up this episode, and I actually am gonna see y'all in the next one. I promise it's not gonna be a year later. So there's that. Not a shameless plug, but a shameless plug. Follow me on my socials at Kivonshe. You can also follow my podcast page if you're interested at So There's That Podcast on Instagram. If you want to see what I'm doing with my plants, at _Black Plant It, but I'm black, so you know it's pronounced Black Planet. And Snapchat at Kivonshe. Oh my God, there's a lot of things to plug now. Just look out for your girl. Follow your girl. Tell your people to follow. Like this video. Share it. All those good things is good vibes only, okay? Chill zone, all right? It's in the background for a reason. Bye.